Welcome to another episode of Threaded Conversations by Reverble. Today we're diving into a viral post that sparked some lively discussions across the internet. Let's get started. Here's our original post.
When I started dating someone I met on Hinge, I felt he was out of my league. His sharp features and flawless skin only amplified the insecurities I tried to hide. Yet, we bonded over shared hobbies like antiquing, gardening, and our mutual love for Joni Mitchell. Still, I often wondered why someone like him would choose me. He mentioned being overwhelmed with work and caring for his dad, who struggled with addiction, but I couldn't shake the feeling that his work was just an excuse. I had always prided myself on my independence. I bought my dream house, filled it with art, and built a life where I didn't need anyone else. I was content in my solitude, or so I thought. Then one night, his father crashed into my garden. I was furious, but he rushed to help, just as I imagined he often did for his dad. Since his father couldn't pay for the damage, he offered to repair and replant it himself. To speed things up, he moved into my pool house. For weeks, he worked tirelessly. To thank him, I arranged a private dinner with a chef and staff. I intended to leave him to enjoy the evening, but he insisted I stay. When the main course was served, he thanked the staff and insisted on cleaning up himself. "Be our guest," they replied. We ended up talking, laughing, and even dancing. But once the garden was restored, his family obligations pulled him away, and I doubted I'd see him again. Life without him felt unbearable. The evenings that once brought me satisfaction, solo meals, and cozy Netflix nights now seemed empty. His absence echoed in the silence of my home. Days turned into weeks, and I sank deeper into apathy, ignoring my phone until its battery died. Then, one day, there was a knock at my door. I hesitated to answer, feeling like a mess and hoping whoever it was would leave. But then I heard a window creak open, and before I knew it, I was standing up, heart racing. It was him. He apologized, explaining how relentless his family troubles had been and how worried he was when I went silent. As he spoke, something clicked. He hadn't come to save me, he came because he cared. In that moment, I realized I didn't need saving, I needed to save myself. I hugged him, thanked him for his concern, and let him go. The next day, I went to the doctor and finally sought help. I started medication, and over time, the noise of self-doubt and negativity quieted. I began taking better care of myself, eating well, spending time outside, and embracing life again. For the first time in a long while, I felt truly alive. As for him, we developed a new, deeper connection. A genuine, lasting friendship blossomed from what could have been a destructive, codependent relationship. Sometimes that's more valuable than any romance. The takeaway? Codependency isn't love. True love begins with loving yourself, giving yourself the care, compassion, and respect you so freely extend to others.
Now let's take a look at some of the top comments that followed.
What a lovely story.
Oh my gosh, this was incredible and so spot on.
Sharing experiences like this is so crucial. You recognized your codependency. And while this man may have been wonderful at times, he was always on some mission trying to save you. Walking away from that kind of situation, instead of clinging to false hope, is what truly frees you.
Girl, you're adorable, but I totally get what you mean. We're often our own toughest critics. Keep growing and thriving.
It's tough to admit, but codependency is something I've struggled with too. Seeing you take control of your life like that gives me hope. Keep shining.
This was so real and raw. I've been in relationships where I relied on the other person for validation, but hearing your story makes me want to change that. Time to focus on me.
What a powerful story. I'm so glad you didn't fall into codependency and chose to focus on yourself instead. That's truly commendable.
Such a powerful post. Your journey really resonates with me. I've learned that when you give yourself love and care first, everything else falls into place. Thanks for sharing.
I can definitely relate. I've always felt uneasy around guys who are too attractive, and now that I'm older, I've just stopped dating altogether.
Looking at your profile picture, I can't help but wonder why you'd feel anything but love for yourself. Girl, you're both beautiful and accomplished.
I've noticed your profile picture too. You're stunning. The idea of someone being out of your league is nonsense. If someone only focuses on looks, they're missing the true essence of a relationship. Sure, it's nice to be with someone beautiful, but finding a soulmate is even more fulfilling. Better to be single than to rush into a relationship that doesn't feel right.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. When I was single, I dated someone who constantly said she wasn't pretty enough and that I could find someone better. I told her I didn't like her putting herself down and that I genuinely wanted to be with her. Unfortunately, she became quite rude and accused me of things I didn't do, thinking I was seeing someone else. Eventually, I ended it, and I did find someone better.
I'll admit, it took me until the 7th thread to realize this is just like Beauty and the Beast.
Wow, this really hits home. I used to think love was all about being there for someone, but I never realized how much I needed to love myself first. Thanks for sharing this journey.
Why do you see this as codependency? Wanting to share good times and needing each other is just part of being human.
This feels like one of those t-shirts with 3 wolves howling at the moon.
I've been in that same headspace before, feeling like I was waiting to be saved. It's amazing how much strength we can find in ourselves once we stop looking outside for it. Powerful post.
Many people have misconceptions about codependency. I'm reading a book about it right now, and it's incredibly eye-opening.
So this is basically Beauty and the Beast, right?
Was I just reading a real-life story or a rom-com? Those are my absolute favorite. First off, I just want to say that your honesty and courage are truly inspiring. Second, I'm really grateful you shared your story. I felt so much of it mirrored my own experiences. And lastly, he was never worthy of the love you give so generously. You deserve someone who loves as fully as you do, and when you find him, it'll be amazing. Also, remember this, people who only stick around during the easy times don't deserve to be there in the hard ones. You're so much more than that. What a crazy coincidence that the guy's dad happened to knock down your wall. And who comes to help? This super handsome guy. This reminds me of my days reading Mills and Boone romances, eagerly waiting for the steamy moments. Oh, never mind. Good luck, and have a lovely day. Am I the only one thinking this sounds just like the plot of Beauty and the Beast? That was so depressing. Just let him love you, for goodness sake.
I was starting to think this was a story she was writing. LOL.
You're just lovely, truly. There's absolutely nothing about you that I'd change. Don't underestimate your worth. If I saw you with a dashing guy, I'd think you two were a perfect match. Not that my opinion is the final say, but try to find moments of joy and share those with others. You'll naturally draw in wonderful people and have the freedom to choose who deserves to be in your life. Keep us updated on how you're doing. Thank you.
I just love the obliviousness you bring to your comments.
Your story is such a beautiful reminder that self-love is key. I've been working on myself lately, and it feels like I'm finally getting it. Thanks for the inspiration.
That wraps up this thread. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more engaging content. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.